Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Happy Wednesday. I'm glad you're here. These Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message: a team of equals, a team of mentors, people to bounce ideas off of, can be really helpful. A few days ago, I saw an article posted by a friend of mine. She also follows the Red Mike page. Name's Bronna McNeely. The article was about Benjamin Franklin's Junto Club. Now, of course, we all know about Franklin, the inventor, the diplomat, the philosopher, but this was a new one on me. The first mastermind group in America. It was 1727. He was 21 years old, a very young Benji Franklin, who still kept his hair up and away from his face. Thank you, Jack McFarland, for that description. If you don't know what that is, go look up Will and Grace. A young Benji Franklin. Yes. Well, he pulled together this group of tradesmen and thinkers, and they they weren't politicians, they weren't elites, they were just regular people who were working to get better. And they met every week to talk about how they could improve themselves, their businesses, their communities, and yeah, the country. Um, I don't think it's all that dissimilar from, like a chamber of commerce, particularly in a smaller town where people get together and they bounce ideas off each other, things like that. Um, but the whole idea about the group, this junto, um, and that's apparently the Spanish word for together. Um, well, they met every week and they were just focused on the ideas of humility, sincerity, industry, and sometimes even silence. Yeah, they would just sit and think important things and think big thoughts. The whole goal was mutual improvement, um, not one-upmanship, not social climbing, but getting better together. Every leadership team, peer group, department meeting, board retreat could be like that if you let it. Not just a place for reports and updates, but sort of a round table to talk about the big ideas, the big questions. Things like what's going on in your team where you might need some help. Is there something you're working on right now that could benefit from a fresh pair of eyes? How can we help you with your goals? Leadership is lonely. Yes, it is. But it doesn't have to be lonely all the time. So build your own junto, right? There was an episode of the old TV show The Avengers, and Brana told me about this one too. I remembered it after I watched it. Rewatched it again last night, and it's an old TV show. It's not great. There's a lot of clunky dialogue. It's also a creation of a much, much, much earlier age. But it had Emma Peel, Mrs. Peel, Diana Rigg, Mercy. Thank you, Uncle Jesse. Um, in that, John Steed infiltrated this group. It was called Ransack, and they were they were intellectuals, but they were being manipulated by an outside force. Um, and there's a warning there too. Brilliance without integrity can be a threat. Um, Benjamin Franklin's junto was not about that. It was about shared growth, not espionage and ego. No, it wasn't a star chamber like in that Michael Douglas movie, but it was all about helping people, helping each other, and being humble through the process. Benjamin Franklin's junto met for 38 years. They started the first public library, the first volunteer fire department, and the University of Pennsylvania. So they weren't just talking, they were doing things too. But the doing came after the listening, after the questioning, after the learning. So What's your junto? Do you have one? Are you building one for the people you lead? If nothing else, do you at least have a close friend or a mentor that you can get with from time to time and say, hey, this is what's going on. What's going on with you? As noisy and as ego driven as this world is, finding your mentor, finding your junto, finding a quiet room of honest thinkers to help you get through it, that might be another way to bring some radical ideas into your own life, into your own process, into your own business. Think about that. That's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting or helpful. I appreciate you being here. Please give me a like, a follow, and a share. I will see you again tomorrow. Go out and knock the cover off the ball today. I know you can do it. Before I go, as always, life is short. Drink the bourbon.